we get a bit closer?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? All right. Everybody speaks English here, so that's good.
Well, it's Liverpool.
Yes.
So
Liverpool, right.
we might have some translation difficulties. We've got Jermaine in the audience to deal with that. How are you guys doing?
Good. We're happy. We got some rest. We slept, kinda.
Good. I've got some questions that I'm going to grill you on. Dave, I'm sure you guys have got loads of questions, right? I've got some questions, so that's good. Let's start off. How are you finding your weekend so far? Have the people of Liverpool been treating you kindly? What have you seen of the city? Are you having a good time?
I've been having a good time. I got here on Thursday when the weather was really nice. The sun was out and it was beautiful. The sunset was amazing. And then yesterday,
You experienced.
it was cloudy and dark and rainy.
Well, you did get our whole summer, so that was good. Like you experienced that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's nice, and obviously the people are really nice. But I'm gonna lecture everybody here, okay? I don't know what it is. Don't get mad at me. But the smoking and the vaping has got to stop. There's too much of it everywhere. Okay, good. No offense if you smoke or vape, but I'm just saying, you know.
We're happy that you're a good influence, David. This is good. I've been having a great time. I got in yesterday and took a nap. Had to do that. And then I went out and went down to the cavern and hung out down there, saw the bands play, and had a Guinness. Yeah, it was good. And had some food and got some rest. And now today we're here meeting everybody. It's been amazing. It's been great. You guys are amazing. We have the best fans in the world. That includes Liverpool. Let's go. Hey! So thank you guys.
I'm going to lead in with that because it was a question I was going to ask later on. Power Rangers fans, and I'm not saying this to disrespect anyone. I'm saying this as from a place of love. They go big. Like, Power Rangers fans are committed. We've got a pink ranger, we've got a green ranger. I'm pretty sure we've got a white ranger.
Yep.
How is the relationship with the fans? Because obviously you started in Power Rangers in the early 90s. We're in 2024 now, and that hasn't ever died down for you guys.
It's been amazing. I mean, the fact that the show's been running for 31 years now, almost 31 years now, is amazing. The fact that we were able to come back to the show after 28 years for me, 26 years for you. That's a long time, y'all. Like, it's 3 generations of fans, and man, we can't be more grateful, because the fact of the matter is the only reason we're here is because of you guys. You guys are amazing, so thank you.
Yeah, just adding to that, I would say there was no way that we could have predicted back in the 90s what the show would become. We filmed basically the whole first season before it even started airing, so we were just like young actors, just doing our best and having so much fun. You know, we filmed 40 episodes and then it started airing, and we quickly became the #1 kids show, not only in the United States but around the world, so that was pretty awesome. You know, it's a really humbling experience, I would say, for us to know that we're here 30 years later, 31. We filmed the original pilot 32 years ago, so it is a long time. That's a lifetime for some people.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about 30 years or 28 years is how long I was away from the show, I think about that. I'm like, okay, so you graduated high school, you graduated college, you met somebody, you got married, you had a baby. You're 28. Oh my God, that's a lot of life. That's a lot of life to be lived, and to I can't believe I'm so old. How did I get there? It's crazy.
And obviously you were away for 28 years. You were the longest serving original Power Ranger, is that right?
That is correct, yeah.
How did you manage to...
Oh, I thought maybe I had crap on my shoulder. Like I'm so old, I'm losing all my hairs.
Right?
So
No.
my hairs
David is not as hip as I am. Like,
I don't know how that worked out. It just worked out that way. Yeah, I did over 200 episodes, and obviously did the feature film in 1995. And Walter and I just got to do Once and Always just more recently, which was a lot of fun for us to come back and.
Did you guys see that show? Once and Always? Nice. Yeah, that was cool.
And that was Netflix, wasn't it?
That was on Netflix, so.
Which shows, like, obviously the power of the Power Rangers franchise never going away. They attempted to reboot it with that movie, which I'm sure there's at least 2 people in here who might have seen it. And then the reboot came out and went away. You guys never went away. The love never went away. It's crazy. Sorry.
I don't know why they didn't involve us in that movie. I mean, like, I think the smartest thing they could have done was to do like, Stan Lee and have us be Easter eggs within the movie. People would have gone to see the movie just for that. They would have gone to go, like, we didn't have to be Rangers in that movie, but we could have been like, I could have been a security guard chasing them to the coal yard. Like, hey, come back here. And they were like, that was Walter Jones. That was Zach. And David could have been working at, at the donut shop.
The janitor.
Janitor.
I don't want to work at Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. He's like, would you like frosted with that? And we're like, no, but I think that would have been a great idea. I hope our fans are so loyal that it just behooves them to involve us in it in some way, because that is what has maintained the show for so long, and people have held on to the original basic mechanics of Mighty Morphin. So, I think that would be a great idea.
Well, that was what got me around that time. You were getting your Mad Max sequel, you got Star Wars The Force Awakens, you got Jurassic World, and then Power Rangers was a remake, and everyone's like, I'm not really sure I want a remake. I want to see what you guys are doing then and handing off to a new franchise. And that would have been, like, imagine you could have been like giving them tip, like the guy in the chair. You could have been like, hey, Power Rangers, there's Rita Repulsa's granddaughter, Would have been cool.
I think that would have been a good idea. I mean, either way, just to involve us we're still here. So, let's do it. I mean, would you guys like to see a franchise or see a movie with all of us in it? Yeah? Let's make it happen. Let's talk to Hasbro. Let's go.
Is that just got it now, Hasbro?
Yeah, Hasbro.
You can fight the Transformers?
Yeah. Well, or we could fight with them. The thing is Hasbro has G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Power Rangers. Wouldn't that be like a nice collab of a group?
The idea of a Transformer copying a Zord and then changing.
That's kind of wild, right?
Dude, why is that? Why are we the ones pitching that?
Let's write it.
Yeah. If you do have questions, please just throw them up, and we'll bring you in. We'll bring you into the conversation. Let's make it interactive.
Are all the numbers microphones? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Number one.
If you to be in any of the Power Rangers team, which one would you like to be in?
Meaning from all the different seasons and series of Power Rangers?
All the ones that have aired, which team would you like to be in that isn't the original one?
Well, for me, it's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. There's only the original ones. No offense.
Yeah, Mighty Morphin is, you just can't mess with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Black Ranger. I'm always going to be the Black Ranger, although I have to say, I do like the Omega Ranger outfit from the comic books. I think that's pretty dope. I like the concept of us, instead of going off to a peace treaty, becoming the Omega Rangers and helping to save Rangers in different dimensions. I like that idea, that concept, and I would be mad at that. That'd be cool.
The comic book series did quite well, didn't it? For a while, Boom Studios was doing it. I can't remember who was writing it. Kyle
Higgins.
Kyle
One of
Higgins.
and Ryan Parrott. Those are both, like, two of the main writers.
I remember picking that up when it first came up and being blown away at not only how good it was and how good the art was, but how serious they took it. Did they do Power Rangers versus Justice League, or was that a fever dream I had? They did a couple of crossovers, didn't they?
Yeah, but I think that was a while back.
Yeah.
That wasn't through Boom Studios.
No.
They did do a Justice League, or is it Justice?
It was Justice League. Was that around
Yeah.
that time?
That was out at the time, and that I was so excited because I'm a big fan of Superman.
Yeah.
Like I always wanted to. Growing up, I wanted to be Superman. I was always trying to fly. I used to dream about trying to fly, like 3 steps and. Right? And in my dreams, I would always try to fly, and I'd take 3 steps and jump, and I would fall on the ground. And eventually, I learned in my dreams that I had to believe in myself. I had to believe that I could really do it. As long as I could believe that it really would happen, I would actually be able to fly. So I started flying in my dreams, and then I started teaching my friends to fly as well. We would fly together in my dreams. And so Superman was a big deal to me. And when I saw Zach talking to Superman, I was like, yes! Oh man, I'm talking to Superman. It's amazing. It was awesome.
That should be
I'm still geeked right now.
That should be an animated movie at the least, shouldn't it?
Right.
They turned Batman and Turtles into a cartoon. I want to see you guys in Justice League teaching Superman how to fly.
There you go.
One of the questions the Green Ranger over at number 1. Hello.
Hi. What was your favourite part about when you were doing Once and Always? for the 30th anniversary.
Translate, please.
What was your favourite part of doing Once and Always for the anniversary?
Oh, okay, cool.
It was for me. It was saying it's morphin' time again. I think when it was time to do that, and then, I read it in the script, I thought it was cool. But when I actually did it, when I walked up and I was like, "It's morphin' time," I was like, "Oh shit!" That was the moment I was saying. I was like, yes, I did it. I did it again. I'm back. Let's go. It was awesome.
The idea of and cut. Can we do it again without the dancing, please?
And your fight was amazing.
Oh yeah, Hip Hop Keto brought Hip Hop Keto back, and it's been a long time since I've been on the floor, and I haven't done those things in 25 years. I wasn't sure that I trained, I was working out and everything else, but to actually literally go on the floor and do some of the things I haven't done in 25 years, including backflips, I was like, I still got it. Hey, still got it.
It was very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say for me, just getting to go back and reprise our roles was a lot of fun. I helped work a lot on bringing it to life, I think, in a lot of ways. So just getting to see everything that we had worked on to bring it to that point was probably the thing that I liked the most. But just getting to work with Walter again, I think, for me, just getting to play Billy and Zach, getting to try to bring Zordon back to life. Didn't work, obviously. I screwed up and got Robo Rita instead. But it was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys really liked it. Seems like most people did. Every now and then somebody will come to my table and say, I didn't really care for it. So it's okay, though. Not everybody has to like it. And I appreciate you cosplaying as the Green Ranger. Thank you for that.
That's awesome.
I was going to, at some point, mention the Green Ranger, because the last time I did the big room here 4 years ago, just before the pandemic, I was with Jason David Frank, who was so passionate about your show and you guys and the fans. And obviously he's no longer with us, but that was one of the most endearing moments of my life. And I think about him often. I've got a little statue of him on my computer in work. Have you guys got any great memories of Jason that you'd like to share?
He was a troublemaker.
He did admit that.
Yeah, like in a good way. He always had us laughing, I think, and was always getting in trouble. Well, he wouldn't get in trouble, but if either of us or anybody else did the stuff he did, we would definitely get a lecture. My agent would be called and said, if David ever does that again, he's off the show. But Jason seemed to get away with everything. So he was wild. There was an episode where we rode horses, and he was told, don't whip the horse, because there's little leather things, and they're like, please don't do that. And he immediately does it. And the horse takes off, and he did something similar when we were filming. We were riding ATVs, four-wheelers.
Yep.
And we were meant to just sort of test ride these things in the parking lot. And the producers are like, please just stay in the parking lot. But, of course, Jason can't do that. So we just see him ride up this hill. And where we filmed, it's kind of like, I'm going to say deserty mountains. And so he just rode up this hill, and you see him fly up over the hill, and then he drops behind the hill, and we don't even know.
And we're all looking like this. We're like, is he okay?
Did he die? Did we go up there? Did we try to figure out? And maybe 3 minutes later, then all of a sudden you see him right up again, flipping over the other side of the hill. So. And
then of course we looked at each other and went, yeah. We're like, let's go do it too. So we did it too.
I didn't.
He didn't. Yeah, well.
But yeah, he was a good guy. He's very funny. He's very intelligent. He's greatly missed, obviously.
When we did the Q&A after he took me to the side, let all the crowd to space, and he was like, you okay? Do you need a drink? How are we doing? What are we doing next? And proper was taking care of me. I was like, dude, I'm looking after you. He's like, yeah, I know, but it's just just a very weird moment. He's like, come on, let's go back. And I'm like, no, you're going back. It's very strange. But it made a bit of an impact on me. Moving back to Once and Always, and then I've got a question for you, if that's okay. I read that you were involved in the inception of the show, possibly pitching it, in the early days of the creative direction of it. Is that true? Or how much of that is true?
It's kind of true. I was actually talking to Hasbro about a limited series that I had written about the original cast called Quantum Continuum. So it's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Quantum Continuum. It was bringing all the original cast members back together and sort of where we were in life and our kids and all that kind of stuff. 3 of the episodes that I wrote are online, so you can read them if you want to. Anyways, I had been pitching that to Hasbro, and we had multiple conversations about that, but for reasons I can't say, it didn't come to fruition. And so out of those conversations, they said, well, we have permission to do a special. And, you know, it was only supposed to be a 45-minute special. Thankfully, it made it to 55 minutes. But from that, they started creating it. So I didn't really it wouldn't be the story that I was telling once and always. That wasn't the story that I was trying to tell. But once they wrote the script, I really helped say, do not do that. Please don't do that. You know, think about this, think about that. So there was a lot of input, but I did not create it, I would say.
If there's one person who's right to shepherd the franchise and advise in certain directions, it's the cast member with the most episodes, the longest tenured original Power Ranger, I would say.
Maybe. I mean, even the writers surprised me with stuff like Pandora Protocol, or Bandora Protocol, Pandora. Bandora Protocol, I was like, wait, I mean, I had forgotten about a lot of these little things that they put in there. So the writers really took a lot of time to research, so I do appreciate that. Yeah,
and it really shows as well. Before we get to your question, is that the Hamburglar? Yeah. Hello?
So a question, yeah?
Oh, yeah, unless you want to bring Grimace out, yeah?
Okay, so my question is, if you could choose any animal to be your own personal Zord, what would it be? It can be real or fictional.
Any animal would be my own personal Zord. Wow. I kind of like a panther or a puma. I think that would be cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I was going to say a panther or a leopard, somewhere along those lines. I guess we like cats.
Yeah. We like the agility, the agility and the speed.
Yeah, and like even lions, like I keep watching more and more stuff about lions, and they're huge. Some of them, they're just like gigantic. So could be cool.
I mean, I also look at like a gorilla. I think I think just the ability to climb and like the strength and the power. I think that would be cool.
What was an animal that could fly?
That could fly.
The flying.
Did you like flying?
Yeah, I do like flying. Yeah.
We've elaborated on that.
Well, if I could give me a swing, I'll just fly to the next thing.
We've got a question down at the front. Hello.
Yep.
Hi. I've got a question about I was about to call it our Rita Repulsa. We saw in Once and Always you effectively killed her at the end, and also in the comic that Amy Jo wrote, she struck an arrow through the middle of it. And I just wondered whether you thought, do you think that Rita's a bit like Davros from the Doctor Who, where she seems to get killed off, but she always seems to make some kind of return? And the other part of the question is, if we see future specials, maybe Lord Zed, was somebody, now that you can kill the lead villain in the more mature scenes, you think someone like Sean Bean would make a good villain? Because he always dies in everything.
So, do they think Rita will come back? Like Michael Myers, every time she gets killed, she'll come back. And the second question is, you want Sean Bean to play Lord Zed?
Hey up, Power Rangers.
Mr. Beans?
Sean Bean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean Bean and Mr. I don't think they're brothers.
I don't know what they'll do. Look, Power Rangers is within the morphing grid. All things can happen. So I don't know if Rita's gonna come back. If she comes back, we're taking her down again. That's all I know. And I don't know about Sean Bean playing Lord Zed, but it could be interesting.
I mean, I would just say, I might turn the crowd against me if I say this. I just feel like, we should move on and fight different villains.
Yeah.
Like create new villains. Like Ivan Ooze in the 1995 movie was amazing. So we can create villains. Rita has served her time. Lord Zed has served his time. I mean, they're both great villains, don't get me wrong, but I would like to see us take on bigger, badder, eviler, darker villains.
Yeah.
And they can all be played by Sean Bean.
They can all be played by Sean Bean.
We've got question number 1. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Have either of you met any of the Zeo Ranger cast? And if so, what did you talk about? If not, what would you want to talk about?
Have you met any of the Zeo Ranger cast?
The original Japanese show.
I was in Zeo. I
Zio Ranger.
I don't think we've met any of those Rangers, no.
From Zeo or from
Zeo.
So that's the original
Sentai.
Japanese Super Sentai show.
The Super Sentai Mighty Morphin, we have met some
Yeah.
of those Rangers. Who have you met?
I can't remember. I can't say their names,
think-
but I met the Black Ranger, I met the Pink Ranger, and I met the Red Ranger. We've seen them at Ranger Stop or Power Rangers. Morphicon, Power Morphicon. They've been there a couple of times, which is awesome. It was great to sit down and talk with them with their interpreter and understand his journey and what he went through and to thank him for creating a character that I could then, kind of be part of his legacy. So, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think we met them at the same time, whatever. So it's really interesting because their show, I think, was airing 20 years before we even started. So it's kind of crazy how long the longevity of it sort of is in actuality. So, but to get to meet those actors, it's really interesting because their show is totally different than our show by a lot. I mean, their show is very dark and scary in some ways. So it's interesting that ours is a kid's show. But yeah, I know the Japanese didn't like us for a long time because we stole their footage and used it in a different way and it became more popular, I think. So, but now they're very nice and generous to us.
I would have thought as well your show brought more popularity to their show because it brought the Western audience that probably wouldn't have heard of it before.
Right?
Thank you.
We've got a question down the front, and then we'll go back to number 1, if that's okay. Hello.
I've always wondered, you mentioned the 95 Mighty Morphin film before. How did you film the opening skydiving scene for that?
In the 1995 movie, how did they film the opening skydiving scene?
Oh, we just jumped out of a plane. It's basically, you get in a plane, it flies. You got a parachute, and you just, and then you pull your cord. No, the reality of it, the reality of it is we're on a big stage like this, and there's actually a huge green screen behind us, and they have a small version, the body of the plane, and it's probably lifted off the ground like this much, and there's blue mats, and you just jump out of the plane, and you land on the mats, and then they have stunt doubles actually jump out of the plane, and they meld the footage together, and then they also put us on wires and flew us up in front of a green screen. And we went like this, and they blow wind in your face to make it look real, and then they cut it all together with movie magic. So Amy Jo and I, we were in Chicago last weekend, and we had this huge debate because she believed that Jason David Frank actually jumped out of the plane. And I was like, you're crazy. Like, none of us jumped out of the plane, but she kept insisting. So I think Jason used to tell people that he really did. He was the only one that jumped out of the plane, but he didn't, just so we're clear. So thank you for your question. Did I answer it? Okay.
To be fair, if any of you were going to jump out of a plane...
Amy Jo actually jumped out of a plane before anybody, like in real life. So... She was, and so I was trying to tell her that too. I said, Jason David Frank is a very competitive person, so once you told us that you jumped out of a plane and it was this spiritual experience for you, Jason David Frank suddenly had to, I gotta do this now. And
I did it as well, but I'm trying to remember, did I do it with Amy Jo? Or did I?
No.
Amy Jo went first. I did it with... It was Zord Rangers. I did it. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, because I've been skydiving 3 times tandem. Maybe it was because Amy Jo had gone and I wanted to go after as well. But
everybody's very competitive. So
yes.
One person, I'm not going to let her get away with that. So
I just want the experience. That's all.
We've got a question at number 1. Hello.
Hello. My question is, are there any similarities between you and your roles?
Absolutely. I think what happened, well, for me, I can say, I know, like, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. Hey, let's go Detroit. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. I grew up in a single family household. I was the man of the house since I was 4. So I grew up with feeling a responsibility to defend women in a sense. And I definitely brought some of that to the character of Zach. So I recall being on the set and, the bullies or somebody would be threatening the girls in the cast, like Amy Jo and Twee or Trini and Kimberly. And Zach would always step up to be like, hey, no, you're not gonna, and they would go, we got this. And I'm like, all right, okay. That kind of thing. That's definitely one of the things I brought to the character. As well as, I think as we got started with as we got more comfortable in the show, the writers start looking at us individually and writing towards our personalities. I think in some ways.
I was not like Billy at all, unfortunately. Billy is super intelligent. I was like in the United States, what we call a C student, very average. So I learned a lot from playing Billy because he had a lot of big words, and I would literally have to sit in my dressing room and look them all up in the dictionary and try to figure out what Billy was saying. A fully sentient multifunctional automaton. Oh my God, what does that mean?
Right, exactly.
So just things like that. So
that was very prodigious of you.
It was very prodigious. Morphitudinous alpha. But yeah, I wasn't like Billy at all. So it was pretty much a character for me. But I certainly became more intelligent by playing Billy. So I'm really glad I got to play him.
Well, you kicked butt. Billy was an awesome character.
What I liked about Billy too is that he grew over the 200 episodes that I do. You saw him grow a lot as a human being, and so I really honor that as an actor. That was like a lot of fun to get to do.
Billy got sexier over the season. Billy was like, he started with the glasses, then he took off the glasses, started doing his hair like
easy, Tiger.
I was like, get it, Billy. All right.
Went from overalls. I don't know what you guys call them here. Overalls, they're like bibs.
Yeah.
And starting to wear regular clothes and tank tops.
How many girlfriends did Billy have?
I think at the end of the day, 9.
See? Oh, what's up with that? Zach had 1 and never hooked up.
We've got a question in the front row. This better be about tank tops and sexy Billy.
So you've had a lot of crossovers with other franchises. Like in the comics, you had crossovers with the Ninja Turtles, the Justice League. Are there any other superhero teams that you'd have liked to have crossovers with?
I didn't hear what you said.
Any other superheroes or franchises that you'd love to see Power Rangers cross over with?
Yeah. Ooh. I would love to see. It would be funny. Wait, I can't think of his name right now. My brain just went out. What's? Oh gosh.
It's called getting old, Al.
Yeah, it's getting old.
It's on my tongue.
It's anyway. I would love to see Rangers do something with Marvel. I think that would be very cool. As well as oh my God, I can't. Our red costume looks like Spider-Man, but not Spider-Man. Funny. Deadpool. Thank you. Gosh, I think that would be fun to do something with Deadpool. We'd be in conflict with a character, but it would be like we try to make him better.
That could be funny.
It would be fun. Yeah, I think so.
I would really like to do a crossover with Star Wars. So Star Wars and Power Rangers. Exactly. And may the power protect you.
Power Rangers versus Universal Monsters is where I'd go. Number 1. Hello.
Hi. This is mainly for David. Of all the costumes you had as a Power Ranger, which one was more comfortable to wear in and do your own stunts?
I mean, I would say the original costumes that we had, the spandex that you see. Oh, they're not behind us anymore. The ones that you see everybody walking around in, cosplaying in, those are usually the most comfortable. The ones from the movie, they looked really cool. I think they still hold up against CGI that's coming out today. They looked really cool, but they were very heavy and they fell apart a lot, so we were constantly being glued back into them. The ninja outfits, not fun, because we were tied into them, so you really couldn't go to the bathroom. It would be like a 30-minute process to get out and get in. So the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers costumes, outfits, superhero things, were the best.
Uniforms.
Uniforms. I was trying to think, what's the word?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've got a question on the front row.
Hi guys, thank you so much for coming across to see us as well at the moment. It's just really great to see you guys here, thank you. I've got a question about props and costumes. As doing a bit of acting myself, it's always tempting to take something, and I'm sure you've been asked this in 1,000 panels before, but were you ever tempted, or did you take or keep any souvenirs from the series? Or if you didn't, would there be a particular prop or souvenir that you wish you did hang on to, or perhaps swipe before you finished?
Swiper, no swiping. Now, when I left the show originally, I didn't know that I was leaving. I thought I was coming back. I was like, I'll be right back, but then I didn't. So I didn't. I think if I had known that I was gone, I might have been in the costume like this, you know. But I didn't do any of that. And then we went to do Power Rangers Once and Always. And they were very careful about what we had. It was like, you know, I'm in my dressing room and I'm getting undressed and like, do you have the morpher? Do you have the communicator? I'm like, I'm not undressed yet. Relax. Can I get the costume? I was like, I'm not undressed yet. Give me a second. So they were very cautious about getting everything back. What I do have though is I have the skateboard from the pilot. The one that Zach was riding. What's up? The whole thing. I think I have a communicator from the original show. There were lots of them. So, I think I got one of those, and I have Ernie's juice bar sign. So I have that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think back in the 90s, we didn't know, again, even though the show was the #1 kid show, we didn't understand, hey, if you take this stuff, someday it's going to be worth something. I do know that there was a crew member that stole a Blue Ranger outfit, and he was fired quickly. And from that point on, they started locking up our outfits. I guess they understood what the demand would be at a certain point. But yeah, we just weren't. I wasn't smart enough to take things really. But I will say, because of Jason David Frank, we were on the movie in Australia, and we had to, our final day of filming, we had to wear our ninja outfits, and then we immediately had to leave set and get on a plane to fly to New York and to go do press, whatever. And so he said, Dave, just take your outfit, dude. Just put it in your suitcase. I'm taking mine. Just stick it in there. And I did. So, you know, Jason Frank forced me to steal my Blue Ranger ninja outfit. So I do have that.
Have you ever worn it again?
I've put it on once, and I've let other people try it on, whatever, but no.
I mean, you were tied into it. How did you put it on?
The parts that are tied in are the arms and the legs. So but the body part of it is easy to put on.
Okay.
So I do have that still.
So you just put on the bottom part and walked around with your chest out, like?
Totally. No. So I do still have that one hanging up in my spare bedroom, but that was probably the only thing. I did take crystals from Zordon's bed from the movie as well when Zordon's column was destroyed. So I took a few crystals from that, but I do have all of my original scripts from the original series. I've given a few away for charity, but in general I have all of those, and I've kept all the original call sheets for each script. So those are all hidden away as well.
Are they the signed ones?
That I've signed, but I didn't have there's a few where Amy Jo signed a few, and I don't think anybody else signed them, but.
Oh.
We've got.
Sorry. I didn't think to walk around and ask everybody, hey, can you sign my script?
I think I have quite a few signed by everybody, I think.
Okay. I feel like that was later in life that happened.
No, it was when we were sitting in the room, the scripts. Yeah.
In the room with the scripts?
Like when we were in the dress, our dressing room was right next to each other. So like we would get scripts, and I think there was a period of time after the show we did at Universal where we were like, hey, we signed my script, and we were just
maybe.
Yeah. I know I have a few signed by everybody.
We've got 5 minutes left exactly, so we're just going to blast through the queue at number 1.
Well, thankfully, mine's more of a comment than an actual question. So I just want, because I hate the idea that people are coming up to you guys and saying that they didn't they didn't react well to Once and Always.
It's like one out of 100.
Listen, 1 out of 100 is too many. So I just want to say to you guys, my husband and I, huge fans of you both. It was just a rainy day in Scotland one day. We saw on Netflix, it was on. Yeah, let's stick it on a spare hour. And by the end, we were more emotional than what we actually ever really intended to be. Seeing you guys, Zach doing his stunts, and Billy was my first crush. Based a lot of myself on Billy, but again, I was not a smart student, so that's where the similarities ended. So I just want to say to you guys, thank you so much for bringing that to us. And if there's any doubt whatsoever, keep doing them. We'll watch them. Please keep doing them. We'll watch them all.
I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you, bro.
My mum's got two questions. Did you prefer the actual hand-to-hand combat or the Zord battles? And what was your favourite battle during the shows?
Did you prefer
favorite Zord battles? Is that what you said?
Favorite Zord battles, and did you prefer hand-to-hand combat to weapon combat?
To the Zord combat.
To the Zord combat. I'm sorry.
Well, I would say that I absolutely enjoyed the hand-to-hand combat much better because I actually did that. When it came to the Zord battles, that was it was mostly I was never in a Zord, so it would have been interesting though. Like, I think those would be really hard falls. They're like falling a Zord and you're in the top of the head and it falls over like once you hit the ground. I think that would hurt. But definitely I enjoyed the hand-to-hand battles much more.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Zord battles, we didn't, again, like Walter's saying, we were never really in the Zord. There was a few times we were in a cockpit.
Yeah.
But that's about it. So the hand-to-hand where you see us as civilians, those were the good fights.
That day in the cockpit was crazy, though, because the director's like, you just got hit from the right. We're like, oh! Just got hit from the oh! It was wild. We only did that one day, right?
I'm pretty sure it was just one day, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question.
Hey, guys. So I sort of grew up with the original series, probably all the way up to space, and I loved how there was like continuity between the seasons with like the characters crossing over and even the villains staying around with the command center. Do you think they should keep some more of this in like a new reboot? Because some of the later seasons are like standalone, because I think it's good with a continuous story. And also, if you compare like the 90s CGI to the modern day, I kind of think that the modern day CGI isn't as good as the 90s, which you probably would expect it to be better. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that.
The CGI, I agree with you. I think we're just accustomed to a certain quirkiness about the show because that's kind of what it was a standard. Part of Power Rangers or Mighty Morphin that made it so interesting is how quirky it was. It was kind of weird that, we were, in a town and all of a sudden everything looked Japanese behind us. Like the buildings were crazy and the monsters were like that whole look was a certain thing. And I think when they change it over and make it CGI, it's like, it's hard to deal with the translation of it. It's like, I think that's not necessarily that it's better or worse. It's just different. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, just that kind of also goes back to what I was saying about the 1995 Power Rangers movie costumes. I think they're way better than the 2017 CGI costumes that we saw. No offense to the actors or anybody involved in the 2017 movie, but, I just really think the old way in some ways is much better. Even, again, another critique that I hear about Once and Always is, the CGI wasn't that great. So for the battle scenes there at the end. So, and I don't disagree. It does look a little different than what we're accustomed to, as Walter's saying.
Did anybody see the rated R version on the internet that they did with what was his name? They did a version of Power Rangers.
Yeah, it was like very adult.
Very adult. That I can say that the Black Ranger had a battle and he had his helmet and he threw the helmet at somebody and it bounced off of him and it came back and it was connected to his face. I thought that was amazing. I was like, ooh, I want that. I want that model. Give me that model. I thought it was cool.
And that has probably been the fastest 45 minutes of my life. That is all we've got time for. We got.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. We just we've blown through we're on minus numbers.
It says -10.
It says
now
negative.
right
We've
now.
got to
I'm
go.
sorry.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for your enthusiasm, your questions. Please give it up
Yeah,
for
thank you
David Yost and Walter Jones.
If you didn't get a chance to ask your question, then come by the table. We'd love to see you there. All right.